Hello everyone, I, Shreya Mishra, your host and Outreach Retreat at Girls Club Jaipur, welcomes you all to day 2 of our open source workshop on GitHub and open source. Today, we will learn about important topics such as Git bash and Git commands. But at first, I would like to call Jayashree, my chapter lead, to tell us more about our chapter and Girls Script.
Yeah,
Now to
sure.
over to Jayashree.
Hello, everyone. I welcome you all on this second day of this boot camp, open source boot camp, and I welcome all the speakers to this Curl Script Chapter and all the attendees, and wish you all the best and hope you will learn so many things from this boot camp. Shreya, just next slide. Before that, let's meet the team. So we are having three mentors in our the Girl Script Chapter team. That is Vidhu, Tanmay, and Tripti. And we are having several leads: technical lead, event lead, content lead, outreach lead, and graphic designer with us. So Shreya, just go ahead with the event.
Thank you, Jayashriti. So let's start our session with the introduction of our today's speaker. Today, our first speaker will be Bobby Kumar. He is second year student at Surajmal Institute of Technology at New Delhi. He has contributed to Girls Script Winter of Contributing 21 and Summer of Script Winter of Contributing 21. He is also outreach lead at SOC. Then, our second speaker will be Sovik Mandal. He is second year computer science student at Ansul Engineering College. He is also a technical content writer in dev dot dot to worked with two startup Cascading Ninja and Apofix. He was also a mentor at Oktoberfest 2021. Then today our last speaker will be Pranay Gupta. He is second year student at West Bengal University of Technology. He is program manager at SOC, mentor at SWOC, and he was also a top contributor at GWOC. Now I will hand over to our first speaker, Bobby Kumar. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shreya. Thank you for your warm welcome, and I welcome everyone. I am just sharing my screen. Please confirm, is it visible or not? Um, Let me share the screen. Yeah, is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, hello everyone. I am Bobby, as introduced by Shreya. I am second year student at Maharaja Surajmal Institute of Technology, New Delhi. And yesterday in the boot camp, we have learned about what is Git, what is version control system, and what is GitHub, and seen how we can create a repository on GitHub, how to create account on GitHub, and continuing the first day workshop, we will learn in this session that how to use Git. Git. Okay, so you have seen this question many a times that what is Git, and I am going to answer this to you one more time. Actually, uh, Git is an open source distributed version control system that we use to control the version of our projects. When we are working in a team, we have different team members in our group. So Git provides a distributed version control system. That means actually everyone has a copy of the project that everyone is using with the same history of the project. That is the project. That is the copy of project that each one is having is exactly same. So that's what Git provides us. So the second question came, why we use only Git? Because Git provides us the distributed version control system. There are two version control system. One is centralized version control system where the main copy of the project is kept at one place, that is one database, and everyone has its own copy. They don't have the whole history of the project that is kept in the centralized version system. But in distributed version control system, we have the copy with all the history and all the commits. That is, every copy has the exactly same thing that everyone else has. So it is easy to track the progress, what changes we made. Also, Git is fast, secure, and flexible. So without any further ado, let's get started and install the Git and start using it. So to install Git, you can go to this link that is given here, or you can just type in any browser, git download, and you will get the first link, that is gitscm.com. You can download Git from here. After visiting this page, we have the different links to download for Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. You can download based on your operating system. I am currently using Windows, so I will download the Windows version. One more thing I want to tell, that if anyone is using the Git and it is downloaded very early and does not have the updated version, so they don't need to download Git again and again. They just need to run this command in their terminal, that is git clone, and this git repository link, and they will get all the updated. So for now, for this session, I'm going to download the Git for Windows, since I'm using Windows. So to download Git for Windows, you just need to click on Windows. Here you will be redirected to this page. Click here. We have two different version of Git, that is for 32-bit and 64-bit. You can download Git based on your operating system. I am currently using 64-bit operating system, so I will just click on the here to download Git for 64-bit system. Let's wait for a minute to download it properly. It is downloading here. So yeah, the download has been completed. So we can just open it by clicking, and it is asking me the permission. So give it the permission, yes, and it will start downloading. So here you need to click on next. This is the path where the kit will get installed. If you want to change this, you can change this on your own, but I am not going to change this. I will recommend it to keep it as it is. So just click on next. Here you will get few options that you need to check. So make sure that these two options, Windows Explorer integration, has been checked. If you will not check these two options, what will happen, that you will not be able to open the Git terminal directly in any folder that we will show further. But if you want to open Git in any of the folder directly, you need to check these two options. So make sure that these options are checked. Click on next. You need to click on next. So here one important thing is came, that if you will check this option, that so when you initialize a empty Git repository in any of your folder, it will create a by default branch and master branch. So if you want that, no, I don't want that my default branch should be master. It should be anything else. So you need to tick this option, and here you will need to give the name of the branch. So you can go with any of these options, but this option is useful when you want to change the name of your default branch. We will see what branching in the next slides, but for the time, keep this thing in mind. Click on the next. Just need to click next, and here you will click on install, and it's installing the program files that it required to run the Git on your system. So let's wait for a while to download Git all its setup files. So once all the file will be downloaded, we will just start using Git bash. That is the terminal for Git. Okay, so the installation has been finished. You just need to click on the finish, and yeah, you will see here Git bash. So this is the interface for the Git bash. This is the first interface for the Git bash. So for this time, keep this minimized, and let's move further. So here we will be learning the basic Git commands that we use after installing the Git. So first thing, we need to configure our username and our user email ID. What is this? This thing is basically, if you set up this thing, then what commits, what changes you will make to any project will be your name will be visible after that commit or after that change to everyone globally, because we are using global flag here. So let's just get into the git bash and start typing. So our first command is git setup, sorry, git config minus minus global and your username. Let's keep it like email I will writing. uh, Before committing, you need to here input user dot email, and yep, we are good to go. So yeah, and the next thing you need to config is your user dot name. You can type here any name that you want to display after every commit. So I am writing my name here. Okay, so yeah, if we press enter, it is set up. So how you can check that your name has been set up or not? So you just need to run a command, that is git. The same command you need to run, but you don't need to write these things in your name. So if you enter, so you can see here it is displaying Bobby command, that what I have set up here with the git config command. So you can do the same thing with email. If you want to check that your email has been set up or not, so you just run the command user.email, and you don't need to write email, your actual email after this. You just need to enter this and press enter. So this is here you can see that what I have entered here, what email I have set up there is showing here. So you have successfully configured your name, username and user email. So that was the first step after installing the git bash. You need to set up your username and user email to get started. Okay, let's minimize it. So our next command is get init command. What this will do, that it will initialize an empty git repository in any folder, any local folder. So we have seen yesterday what a repository is. Your repository is basically, one second, your repository is basically what a folder that what you make on your GitHub. So you can either use an existing repository on GitHub, or you can make a new repository, or you can make a new repository here. So to create a new repository in a directory, you first need to create a folder. So let me just move to my desktop folder. Here I will create an empty repository. Let's keep its name as demonstration. It will create an empty repository. Let's move into that repository. And here I am going to initialize empty git repository. So to initialize an empty git repository, you need to run a command, that is get init. If you will run a command, it will give a message that initialized empty git repository in C. This is the path of the directory where your git has been initialized. So let us check if it is working or not. So if I go to desktop, and here we will go to demonstration folder, you can see a git.git folder. It specifies that your repository has been initialized with git. So after now, whatever changes you will make in this directory, you will be able to track all those changes using git. So I will show you this also further. Okay, so uh, if you want to use an existing repository, what I told earlier, that this is one of my repo. Okay, I want that I will only use this repo. I am not going to create any repository, so I will use this repo. So you can do that also. You always don't need to create a repository, initialize it with Git, and then push it to GitHub. You can use a repository on GitHub also. So you just need to what you need to do is to click on this code. Here you will get the HTTPS link of this repository. You just need to copy it from here, and you can clone it here. So if I will run a command git clone and simply paste it by right clicking the URL of the repository, you will be able to clone this girl script demo repository in that folder. So yep, it has been cloned, and let's see. Yeah, you can see here on GitHub we have a repository called girl script demo, and here you have got that repository. Since this repository only have a readme file right now, it doesn't contain anything. You will see that if I will move in this repo, I will see a readme file here also. So yeah, you have created a git repository, you have created a git initialized repository, and you have cloned an existing repository on GitHub. So that was very easy. So our next command is git status. So before running git status, let's make a file here and make some changes. So I'm just going to create a file here. That what we will see demo dot. Let's we create a CPP file. We will make changes in that CPP file only. So if we run this command touch demo.cpp, you can see that here a cpp file has been created. Okay, so we will make changes, and we will see how we can control the changes using git. I have told earlier that git is used to control the changes, see the changes, between different versions. So how can we do this? Let's see. So I will just open Visual Studio Code in this folder. I will make some change. I will make some change in this file, and you will be able to see git will track those changes actually. So if we just write some code, you can see in VS Code it is showing green and U. U means this is an untracked file. Untracked by whom? It is by Git actually. So I have the file was initially empty. This file was initially empty. Demo.cpp was empty. I have added some lines of code, and I have made some changes in this repository. Sorry, in this file. So let's see if Git is able to check it or not. So how we can check that if Git is tracking this file or not? We just need to run a command, that is git and status. This will show the current status of the file. So if we press enter, okay. So here it is giving message that there is an untracked file. There is two untracked files. One is girl script demo that we have cloned from the GitHub. It is new change, so it is git is also tracking this change, and we have made changes in git demo. So we have made changes in the git demo, sorry, demo.cpp. So the git is tracking those changes, but it is saying it is untracked. It means that you have made changes, but you are not using git to keep those changes, keep tracking of those changes. So here comes our next command, that is git add command actually. So before using git add, let's discuss where we are going to add these files. So I will give you an analogy that you are in a wedding, and the couples are on the stage, and you have a photo session with them, but you are actually not on the stage right now. You have prepared, you have done everything, you have changed your outfit and everything, but you are not on the stage. So actually you are untracked for the photo session. This means that you are actually untracked for the photo session. So how will you get tracked, how will you actually get the photo session? When you will go to the stage, so that is called staging area. So if we make changes in any new file, it is the git will say that it is an untracked file. It does not have any staging area where we can actually take a snap of it, what changes we made. Git is not able to take a snap of those changes. So to get the snap of those changes, we just need to add the file to a staging area. That is, and the area is called staging area. So for that, for adding, for actually taking snapshot of the changes what we made, we will add this demo.cpp. We will add this demo.cpp to the staging area, and then we can take the snap of the changes what we made, that is these changes. We can take the snap of those changes. So for adding these files to the staging area, we need to write command git add. And the next thing comes here is that whether we want to add these two files, all the files, sorry, all the files present here, and which is untracked, or we just need to add the demo.cpp, that we just need to take the snapshot of the changes made in the demo.cpp. We don't need to take the snapshot of the changes that is made in the girl script demo. So we can do in both the ways. If we want to add a single file, we will we have to write git add and the name of the file, that is demo.cpp. So yep, we have added demo.cpp. So if we now run git status, it will see that there is a new file on the staging area and there is one untracked file. Why this file is still untracked? This is still untracked because we didn't added this file to the staging area. This we have, if you can see our previous command, um, 1 minute, here we have just added demo.cpp. We have not added girl script demo. So we have only one new file on the staging area, that is demo.cpp. So what if we want to add all the files that is present, that is untracked right now? So we just need to write git add, and to add all the files we need to put a dot after add. If we press enter, it is giving something, adding embedded git repository. Okay, so this is an initialized git repository, so we cannot add this to the staging area because it also contains a git file. So we just need to put this file on the desktop, and we will just create a, actually 1 minute, we will just create a new file here. Sorry. Okay, so we was not able to add that file into staging area because this also has a stage within it, that is a empty git repository. So we will not add one git repository into another. So if we run here git status command, we will see that it is showing we have deleted git girl script demo. Why we have deleted, why it is showing? Because we have moved curl script from the demonstration file to the desktop file. So for the demonstration file, the curl script is deleted. So yep, we have added our files successfully to the staging area, and we will move to the next command. So yeah, after adding, let me clear my terminal first. So after adding the files to the staging area, that is with, we have added these files to the staging area. So we need to take the snapshot of the changes we made. So we have made changes here. We have added 12 lines of code. That is the boilerplate of CPP that I use. So how we just added the files to the staging area. So now we need to take the snapshot of that. And what we say the snapshot is commit. That is, we will commit the changes what we made in the file. So you need to know that you can make commit for those files only that is added to your staging area. Okay, so we will just write here git commit -m, and here you need to write a short summary about what changes you made. So you just need to write an informative sentence, not more than 50 characters. It is a good practice to describe the changes you made, so that when you come to that snapshot again, you was able to you will able to understand what changes you have made at that time. So just I am writing a commit message, added some lines of code as demo, and we will press enter. So git, so now you can see that it is saying that the two files have been changed with 13 insertions. uh, so the git has taken the snapshot of the changes what we made. So yep, that was all about git commit and git add. Now we will move to the next section, that is view changes made. So yes, you have added we have added we have made changes in a file. Here we have added that file to a staging area, and we have committed the changes that we made in that file. So now if I want to view the changes what I made in that file, I will just write the name of just command git diff. And if we write if we want to see difference between one specific file, we will write the file name. We will If we want to check the difference between all the files that I have committed, I will use git diff command. And if we want to uh, check the changes in two different commits, that commit I have made one here. If I have multiple commits in that folder, so I can see the changes between two commits by just using the commit id. I will show you what commit id is in 1 minute. So let's first check the difference between the demo.cpp file. So if we write here demo.cpp, okay, uh, 1 minute. It is not showing any changes right now, but we have added it. This is the commit id. So yeah, it is not showing right now, but if you will run this command git diff, you will able to see the changes what we made in this repository. Okay, so our next command is git push changes to a remote repository. What does this mean? That whatever changes we have made, that is, if we will run the git log command, it will show that there is one commit that is made by me, Bobby Kumar, and this is the email. This is the same email and the same name and the email that we have used earlier, earlier to config the git. If you remember, we have first run the command to add these two things, these two things. So, and this is the commit message that it is showing that I have added some lines of code. So now we need to push it. Uh, we need to push it in a empty in a repository that is present in our GitHub. So now here there is one concept that I have initialized a repository here, but how I will push the changes to GitHub. So if I need to push changes in GitHub, on the GitHub, I need to initialize that repo with an existing repo link. Okay, so if we don't have if we want to push changes to any repo, we need to just copy this link and add it as a remote repository. That is, I will tell git one minute, git add remote and paste this link. Actually, this is not the command. Yep. So this was the command actually. Sorry for writing wrong command. We what we have done here, that we have added a remote repository, that is a repository that is present on GitHub, where we will push these changes. So what we are doing here, we have made changes in it, we have made changes in a file, and we just want to push those changes in on the GitHub. Okay, so for doing that, we first need to add we first need to a- add the address of that repo with this with this repository, local repository, that in which we have initialized the git. This is the copy of our local repository, and this is the copy of our remote repository that is present on the GitHub. So once we have added a remote repository, we just need to push the changes to it. So for pushing those changes, what the command we will run is that git push origin and the name of the branch that we will push. So here we are currently on the main branch. So it is main. Why it is main? Because while installing git, I told you that you can actually control the name of the branch that you want. I have written their main, so it is initialized a repository with the name main. So if we will push like git main, this changes what we have made, it is showing rejected. Credentials case is available. No need. Actually, I'm not sure why it is rejecting. Okay. So if we will refresh it here, we will see that yep, initially we have only readme file here, but as we have pushed the changes, we can see that the demo.cpp has been pushed successfully to our GitHub. So these were the changes that I made, and it is showing here. So yep, that was all from my side. uh, I would like to hand over the screen to Shreya, and I would like to conclude my session here. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much, Bobby. It was a wonderful and informative start. Now we will like to take up our doubts.
Yeah. So we have a few
Yeah.
questions. So first question by Ria. She's asking that can we insert codes directly?
Okay, so if you are asking that if we add code to directly on the GitHub to a new file, then yes, you can add it. And if you want to add code using Git only, you can do that also. You just need to write the code in the terminal, and you just need to know the commands to add those lines of code to the file. But yeah, you can do that. You can as I have created a demo.cpp, I should have added the code using terminal only, but you need to know the commands to add those changes. So yeah, you can do that directly, you can add that.
Okay, so we have next question. by Karan Gorai. He's saying that is
Yeah.
using Git more efficient, or an individual can do it using GitHub desktop application?
Okay, so this is a good question actually. Git and GitHub Desktop, both the things are same. GitHub is the GUI version of the Git. GitHub Desktop is the GUI version of the Git actually. What we do in Git, we write commands in Git, and then we using those commands we push our changes, we pull the changes from a remote repository and do all the commits. But if you are using GitHub Desktop, you will have the buttons to do that actually. You will click the button will run the command that we actually run on terminal, and then you will able to make those changes. So it depends on the individual, with if they are comfortable with using command line interface or using GUI interface. So yeah, according to your convenience you can use Git Desktop also, and Git terminal also. But using Git terminal is considered as more professional. So I will recommend that if you are comfortable, go with Git terminal. You have more control on your commands actually. So yep, and you will be able to see what you are actually doing and what the action is happening. So yep, you can use both of them. Any
Okay.
more question?
So, next question. Yeah. Is it compulsory to use a commit message?
uh it is compulsory. It is not compulsory to use a commit message. You can just push changes uh, to repository without commit message. But if you will do that, how will you able to track what changes you have made? So it is always required that you should add a commit message before pushing to any repository to the GitHub, or any changes to the GitHub. But yeah, commit message is required.
Okay, one more
What I
question. Okay. Yeah, once I tried to post my website link in GitHub, but I faced the 404 error. So, any solution to that?
This is actually the another concept that I have taught in this session. But yeah, I can tell you that if you are using to deploy that page using GitHub Pages, so it will not show the effect immediately. It will actually take some time. So take some time to show the changes and provide a link to your website. And one more thing you need to take care of, that the GitHub Pages uses your file index.html to deploy your website, and that file should be present out to the outside all the directory, that it should present on the main directory only. So if you are using index.html in any other directory, any other subdirectory, make sure that you take out that index.html, and put it in the parent directory only. Then try to deploy that using GitHub Pages, and it will get deployed actually. And sometimes it takes some time because the content is more, so it fetches data and then try to then deploy it. So wait for some time, 1 hour, like that, and the page will get deployed. So yep. Any more
Okay,
question?
so thank you so much, Bobby. It was a great explanation. Shreya, just go ahead with another speaker.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. Now we have our next speaker, Sovik. He will tell he will show hands-on demonstration of Git commands and how to do undo changes on Git.
Hello everyone, this is Sovit, and as Sayat is already have tell about me, so I don't want to introduce myself again. I'm just sharing my screen now. Just a minute. I'm taking it in a second screen. Is it visual now?
Yeah, your screen is visible.
Okay, as Bobby already have said about git config and git initialize, also he have said about git add and git commit. Now I will say about git logs and statuses. So there is a command that is git status, which will say you that what is the current positions of git now. means you have already commit something, then you have changed something new, then it will tell you that you have changed that things and etc etc. And there is a option that is git log, which will give you the all logs of git commits. Now I'll show you in a hands-on demonstration. So for that, I'll open my directory, and here it is my terminal, where I'm opening some code, which is a VS code, and I'm not using git bash. Here I'm using integrated terminal of VS code, which have integrated git bash. So here is it. Now if I show you what is the status of my git, it is no, there is no git repository, so it will say that it is not as initialized. Git status, and you can see that there is no git repository. So for that, I have to initialize it using the command git init. And once I initialize, there is one folder added, which is .git, but it is not showing here because it is it's a hidden file. So if you uh, if you take command ls, it will not, no, it will show nothing. But if you take command git ls and a, it will show you git rep folder. Now here I am adding some files, which is hello.txt, which is a demo folder, and I'm writing here something hello world, and one more, which is index.html. Though I'm not
Sorry
yeah,
to interrupt, but can you please zoom in it a bit?
okay, okay,
Font size. Yeah,
is it visible? Okay.
yeah, it's fine now.
Index.html, I'm writing here html because here I can write something dummy text for that. Now I'm writing lorem and 25, it will give me 25 demo words for nothing, just to demo. Now here is to untracked file, and though it is a file, but it's untracked, and so you can see the u, here it's written u because they are untracked. In git status you can see those are untracked. So if you want to track them, then you have to add those. And here you cannot use git add and a small a. You have to use git add and capital A, because you are adding almost all, not all folders. Means if you use all folders, it will show you some extra things, which is current directory and parent directory, but you don't want to add those. You want to add only almost all files. So for that, I will type git add and a. Now all these are added, and as those are added, it's changed to a from u. Now I will commit it as a initial commit. Sorry, it's initial commit, and it will be git commit third space. So these are now added, and these are now tracked by git folder. Now there is some more command, which is git log. So what will do git log is it will show you whole log statuses, which is git log, and it's showing you the last status which have been done, which is a commit message. Now These are the check logs and statuses, and I cannot show you the git diff. For that, I have to write something more which is different from last commit. Like, I will write something more, 10 letters are more 10 words are added. Now if I show you git diff, it will show you that there is some changes made, and this is it. Now I have to quit from here, and I will do commit once more. Git commit, and I have to add some messages. If I don't add, it will not commit. Like, it will not commit until I do write a message here. If I do not message it, then it will abort the commit. I will add some message in a single line. Commit one. Now it's added and it's committed. Now I will show the status, the git log, which is git. There is two commit already have done, so it's showing those two. Now there is a concept of ignoring files. Suppose you are doing something where there is some extra files which you don't want to track them. So if you don't want to track them, then they should not be included into the .git folder, because there is some node modules. If you ever use npm or node.js, then you will show that you will see that some node modules are there, so you don't want to track them. So for that, we will use git ignore file. So here we have to make a .git ignore file, and here I have to tell that which file I want to ignore. First I have to add this file, git add, and I can do it in a single line where git add and git commit will be done. Git commit message, I will write here anything like three dot, but at least I have to write something. Now these three files are now tracked, but I want to ignore that index.html. So I have to write here the name of the file, which is index.html. HTML. So now this index.html file is not tracked. If you write here something new, or if you change this file, it will not track here. You can see git status. Now it's tracking it now. Okay, it's tracking it now, till now. So I have to untrack it first. Git uh, rm and catched, catched, catched. I cannot write raw rm, then it will remove completely, delete this file. I have to only untrack this file. For that, I will write index html. So now it's untracked. what is the git status? It's modified. Now suppose there I want to uh, ignore some folders. So how will I will ignore some folders? I will show you. Suppose I want to create a new folder which is node module. Node. In this node file there is some text, dummy text. Now I want to ignore that file, so that I will write here node. Now it will ignore that node file. I cannot see the new node file is added. Here it will show nothing, only the modified git ignore. So git status, it is showing that index.html has been deleted and modified git ignore, but it's not showing that no, there is a node directory, because it's ignoring it completely. I can do a git commit. I'm doing some message commit 3. Okay. The next command is, there is, if I want to ignore all those files which has been named with dot log or dot any extension, and all those files with those extensions I want to ignore, then I have to write this line, which will be star or asterisk mark dot and the file extension. I can write it here, dot git ignore. Before that I have to create this file which have extensions of specific extensions, like log, here abcd dot log, and there will be a more log file which is abc dot log, and I want to ignore that abcd log and abc log together, but I don't have to write those two files again. I can write only asterisk mark and log. By that, this will ignore that abc log and abcd log together. Now you cannot see that u mark is not here because it's ignoring, completely ignoring, but that git ignore is modified, that's why it's showing dot m. Now there is a concept of git branching. You can take snapshots now. You can pause the video and take snapshots of these nodes. uh, Git branching. What is git branch? Suppose you don't want to work on a single branch. There will be two or three branches where you have main branch and some development branch or some demonstration branch. So if you want to separate those codes by this type of branches, then you have to uh, use this branch concept. So for that, I can see why I can see where I am here, git branches. So you can see I am now in master branch. Now I want to add more branch named with development. Then I have to write git branch and development. Now if I see in git branch, it will show you two branches are here, one is master and one is development, and currently I am existing in master branch, that's why it's uh, showing in different way. Now if I want to switch the development branch, then I have to use switch branch. switch command, which is git switch switch and development. Now I have switched my branch from main to development. You can see the messages also. Now if I see myself, git branch, now I am in a development branch, and here already have cloned what I have done in master branch. And if I want to add something more, like I am copy and pasting these hello world 3 times. Now it's being done in development branch and it's not relating the master branch. Now if I show you that what's have changed here, git status will show you that git ignore and git and hello.txt has been changed. Now if I switch from the development branch to master branch, what it will show, let me show you. Git branch, git switch, sorry, git switch and master. I have now switched to master. And what has been changed here, if I want to show, see here, git status, it's showing that master bench also has been changed. Now because of I have not committed it, if I commit in the master bench, git commit, in master branch I have committed this. And what have done in development branch, let me see, git branch and development, git switch, sorry. Now in git switch there it is showing that here it's untracked and the hello world is only one file, because here the commitment was only one hello world was in development branch, but in the commitment of master branch there was 3 hello world. So it's showing the difference between it's being shown the uh, okay. So there's a confusing. In the development branch here only one hello world is there, and in master branch there was 3 hello world. Let me check it again. Yes, in the master branch there are 4 hello world, and the development branch there is 1 hello world because the commitment was different. So this is how I can add one more branch, and there I can work in different way that will not affect the another branch. And now if I want to modify the name of any branch, then I have to use this command, which I have to use .m argument. So where I am now, git branch, I am now in master branch, and now I want to rename the master branch with main branch. So I have to write here git, what was the command, git branch m, then the name of the new branch, m, and the new branch name will be main. So it will change the master branch name to main branch. You can see the difference Here in previous stage it was named as master, now it's named as main. Now there is a new command which is git merge. Now as you have previously have shown that there is two different branch and the commitment of two different branch are different. So if I want to merge something, that I think that main branch is correct and development branch is wrong, then I want to copy the main branch from here to development branch. For that, first I have to switch from main branch to development branch, and I have to use this command git branch git switch sorry git switch development, and now I have stage to development branch, and now I want to copy paste the main branch to development branch. For that I have to use this command, which is git merge and the branch name git merge and the branch name is main. Before that, let me show you the branch name kindly. Now I am in development branch. So git merge and the main branch. You can see that the development branch has been copy pasted from the main branch. So here is the another three hello world are written from main branch to development branch. Now there is a concept of undo changes. So why we are using the git, because if we do something mistakenly, then I can undo this thing. If I uh, delete everything, then I can undo once more. So for that, let's think about, I have committed something, then I want to do some changes and I have done, then I suddenly think that I was correct when I do that commit, but now it's wrong. Then I have to check out with the I can check out with the last commit. For that I have to use this git checkout and dot. Dot means it will indicate the current repository, like it's now commitment stage, and I'm doing some changes here. Hello world, two hello world are cutting from here. Now the hello world hello.txt has been modified. If I see in git status, it will show you that hello.txt has been modified. Now if I want to uh, I want to back to the last commit where the four hello world was, then I have to use this command which I have shown, git checkout and dot. If I don't use dot, then it will just show you that what has been modified. It will show you that hello.txt has been modified. Now if I use dot, it will merge all those previous commit. Now this is all, and before that I will show you uh, git reset soft. So what is the difference between checkout and reset? Reset means it will change to your last commits which you want to stage in current stage. Just like uh, these are the uh, codes, something has been written and I have changed here, and I want to I want to change something new, but I mistakenly committed these things. I mistakenly commit this thing. Git commit and just writing a message mistakenly. So there is a commit I have done. Now I don't want to commit. I want to uncommit this thing, and I can do it by this command, which is git reset soft and commit number, or git reset soft and head. So it will go to the previous uncommit stage. Now it will change to uncommit stage, which was a modified stage, and the commit has been resetted. Now there is option git commit and hard means if you suppose you have added new file, and if you use this hard command, then it will directly delete those file, because in this last commit there is no that kind of file, and it will hardcorely change those all things. So it is generally recommended to not use hard, but I am using it here just for demonstration. I'm adding this commitment again. And what is the git log? Mm, commit 3, and mistakenly is the last commit. So I'm doing a commitment again, and I'm adding a new file which is named as extra dot text, and I'm writing here something new. Hello world, and something again more. Now I do, if I do commit everything, git status. So git status, it's showing that one untracked file is there. This is untracked, and now I want to add this file. Git add all, and git commit all, and a message added an extra file. So now it's added. Now what is the git status? Git status is showing that working directory is now plain. Now if I use this command, which is git reset and hard, just a minute, git reset and hard, then it will delete those file. Where is now extra? That is now disappeared, because in the last commit there was no extra name file with named extra, so it's been deleted. Now there is a command which is git reset soft and commit number. In this command you can use commit number to match with those commit which you have done in previously. So for that, I'm copying it and watching the log file. What is current status of log file? Git log. And suppose I want to change to this second last commit. So for that, I will use this soft head and a curly hyphen with number 2. So here you can see the git hello.txt has been added, and git ignore also has been modified than previous stage. Now what is git status? Git status is showing that git ignore and hello.txt has been modified, because in the second previous stage those git ignore and hello.txt was modified, and it's reverted now. And there is a command, which is to untrack a file uh, in git repository. If you want to untrack any file again, then you can use this command, where you have to use the cached mandatorily. If you don't use cached, then it will directly delete everything, delete that file. Just like I want to untrack this hello.txt. For that, I will use cached and hello.txt. Ca, sorry, there is a spelling mistake. Read. Now it's removed. The hello.txt is now untracked, so it's showing U symbol. Now if I want to completely delete this, then I can use this command without the argument cached. Oh, it's not now tracked by git, so it's not understanding which file I want to mention by hello.txt. So there is another file, which is index.html, and this is now tracking. So I want to delete this file. So let's see if I can delete this file. HTML did not match any file. Oh, I think I cannot use that uh, raw git rm command, because it will, for safety reasons, if I use only git rm or rm, that will remove that file completely. So I have to use git cache every time. So these are the all commands, and that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sobek, for such a wonderful session. So now I will take up doubts. Our first doubt is from Shrishti. She's asking, can we make the untracked files tracked after we have made them ignore?
Yes, of course. If there is something untracked, if I delete that file, the file name from git ignore, that will again be tracked.
So Srishti, you just need to delete your file from the git ignore file. Our next question is from Sampriti. She's asking, how can we see on which branch we are?
So there is a command git branch, and when you use git branch, there will a list of uh, every git branches and which branch you are, that will show in highlighted way, and there will be an asterisk before that branch name.
Yeah, okay. I think Sampriti, your doubt is clear now. Our next doubt is from Ali. He's asking, is it necessary to use VS Code for Git?
Yeah, of course. And VS Code has its integrated terminal, and where you can use git, because there is a need of bash. So shell scripting area, where you can script your git commands. So there is any kind of shell which is bash or zsh or csh or git's integrated terminal, anyhow anywhere you can execute your git commands.
So it is not necessary to use a VS Code. You can use other options too. Next question is also from Ali. He's asking, is it possible to use Git with any compiler?
Here is no term of a git compiler, because git is not a compiler, it's a version control system, and you are writing the codes in a text editor and saving those in a file. So this will track those files only, so there is no concept of compiler.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Sofik. It was a wonderful session from
Thank
your
you.
side. Now we have our next speaker, Pranay. He will tell about how to push our project to repo and about README files.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shreya. Let me know if my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So, hello guys. I will show you how to push your project to a remote GitHub repository. By doing this, by doing this, you can publish your repository to GitHub, and then you can share the link with other people, and other people can contribute to your project as well. So the first step is obviously you have to create a repository on GitHub. So you can go to any browser, just open GitHub, and you can see that here is a new button. You can create a new repository from here. You can enter your repository name. For this demo, I will show you how to push this. I prepared this repository beforehand. I will show you what it contains. It contains four files, four folders and four folders and files, and these are just sample files. I'll show you the Git status. Yep. Sorry, I'll show you the Git log, Git log as well. Yeah. So you can see I added four commits, which is first is added a name. Sorry, the first is added folder one and file one. The second is added folder two, and the next is file two added, and then the last one is added my name in file two. So I'll show you how to push this project to GitHub, and then you can share the link with other people as well. So the first step is to put a repository name. I'll put the name. I'll put the similar name right here. It's not mandatory. You can, you can name your GitHub repository anything else, but for simplicity purpose, I'll just put the same name. You can add a description as well. It is optional, but it's a good practice. So I'll just put a description. My girl script. Okay. There are two options. You can put your repository as a public repository or a private repository. I'll choose it to be a public repository. You can skip these steps for now and just hit on create repository. Okay. So the next step is here you can see that the repository is created, and the next step is to open git bash. So you have to open git bash in the same repository that you want to push. So I have opened git bash here. Let me clear the terminal. And you can see the next step is to initialize the local directory as a git repository. Since I have already done this, you can see here is a git folder, .git folder. This signifies that it is already a git repository. So you can skip step 3 and step 4 because I've already added these files and I've already committed them. And the next step is to copy the remote repository URL and then set the remote. To do this, you can just open your here you can open the project, and then over here you can see that there is an HTTPS link and an SSH link. If you have set up your SSH keys, you can copy this link, else you can simply copy the HTTP link. I'll copy the HTTP link here. You can click this icon right here, and it will copy the link. And the command to the command to set up this remote is very simple: get remote, add origin, and then the remote URL. So I'll add this right here: get remote, add origin, and then the URL. Yeah, you see it is the same: get remote, add origin, and the URL. Hit enter. And to check if if you want to check that what is the remote set, then you can give the command get remote -v. Here you can see the origin, which is the fetch origin is you know uh, GS Jaipur open source bootcamp, and the push is also GS Jaipur open source bootcamp. And the command to push the changes is even simple. You have to just put git push origin and the branch name. You can see the branch name is main. You can also check the branch name by using this command git branch. Uh, Git branch, I guess. Yeah. You can see the current branch is main. So you have to just put the command git push origin and then main. Before you can see this repository is completely empty, and when you hit the command, it will push all these files, these two files in the folder, to this repository, to the GitHub repository. And yes, you can see it is done. If you reload the page, then you can see the folder 1, folder 2, file 1, and file 2, which is exactly the same. You can also open them. You can see file 2 has my name, and file 1 has this is a text file. You can check it right here. File 1, this is a text file, and then file 2, it has just my name. Now, if you want to make some changes and then push here, if you want to make some changes to these files and then push them again, you can just open the file, put the changes right here. Like I can add the script Jaipur, okay, and you can see in the terminal that when you put the command git status, you can see that I have one modified file. I can just add it, git add, and then git commit. You can add the commit message right here. Added GS Jaipur, hit enter. You can see that that this change is committed right now. But when you open file 2, you will not see GS Jaipur. Why? Because I have not pushed the changes yet. To push the changes, the command is the same, which is git push origin main. It will take some time, and then it will push this change, this exact commit, which is added GS Jaipur. Once you and then when it is done, you can just reload the page. You can see GS Jaipur is uploaded. To check the commit history, you can just click on this icon here, and you will see all the changes. You can see all the commit history. It is similar when you do git log. You can see it's the same thing right here. Added GS Jaipur is in the top here, and then added my file, added my name, file 2 added folder 2, and then the last one was sorry, the last one was added folder 1 and file 1. Okay, so that was it. You can publish a repository using these simple steps. And let's move on to the next topic, which is to create a README file. First, I will show you what is the importance, what is the significance of a README file in an open source project. The README files are very important in a project because it is, it is the first item that a visitor will see when someone visits your repository. It is the first item that someone will see. It includes information on what the project does, what is the project about, why the project is useful, and how can someone get started with the project. How can someone uh, set up the project in their local system, and then if someone has any questions, then you can ask whom to ask the questions. You can find all the information in a README file. I'll show you some example of a README file, which is like this. Hub community has a project named Link Free. It has a very good README file. You can see a preview of the project here. This is a preview of the project, and then you can see the prerequisites, what you need to know before installation, and then you can see the installation steps right here. And the first step is to fork the project and clone and everything. And the next section is the contributing guidelines. Uh, and the next section is how to add your project. How to add, uh, how to contribute to the project. And finally, we have contributor section. Thanks to all the contributors. Uh, this was one example. Another example is from Moja Global. Moja Global has a community website project. It has a very amazing repository, very amazing README as well. First we have the introduction to the project, and introduction to Moja Global as well. And the next section has the technology stack. What technology stack is needed to contribute to the project, to set up the project as well. You need Node and Yarn package manager and all. And here are the steps to install the project on your local machine. If you want to install the project, you can simply follow these steps: fork the project and clone, and then sync your fork, and then move to the directory and all. And the next section is how to get involved. uh, here are some extra Here is some extra stuff, which is developer notes and all. And then finally we have support. This was the thing, uh, where can users get help with the project. This It's in the support section, where you can join the Slack channel. You can mail them directly as well. And finally, we have the contributor section, where we have a list of contributors who have contributed to the project, who have actively contributed to the project as well. Using README files, you can also create a profile README like this. I have created one. It has a basic introduction and a few links, uh, and some stats and some recent activity. This is not needed actually. I mean, uh, this is a extra thing. It's not mandatory. And finally, we have uh, Markdown is basically it's exactly it's not exactly like HTML, but it's similar to HTML. You can see the syntax right here. I just copy this link. Actually, I've opened this page here. Yeah. So there is a syntax for Markdown. You can add headings. You can see here you can add headings, paragraphs, breaks, and images, links, horizontal lines. There are a lot of stuff. You do not need to add everything. You do not need to learn everything right now. But I'll show you some basic things. I will add the changes in this project only. This GS Jaipur Open Source Bootcamp project. You need to create a README file. A README file, yeah, the README file must have the exact same name, which is readme.md. This MD extension is very important. This MD extension signifies that this is a Markdown file. And hit enter. To view the Markdown output, you can click on this small icon right here. You can see this icon, preview. Since it is empty, so there is no preview. I'll show you how to add Markdown. Uh, so the syntax to add a heading is very simple. You just need to add a hashtag for heading 1, 2 hashtags for heading 2, 3 hashtags for heading 3, four hashtags for heading 4 and so on. Here I'll add one hashtag and write this is a H1 heading. You can see this is very big and bold. Uh, Similarly, you can add two hashtags and write this is a H2 heading. Okay, this is comparatively smaller to the H1 heading because obviously it is a H2 heading. And then you can add a H3 heading as well. This is a H3 heading. So we have a, you know a very small one. Next we can add H4. This H4 heading. Similarly, you can add up to six. You can add up to total six headings, which is heading level 6. And next thing we have is paragraphs. Paragraphs are very easy. You can simply type anything. This is a sample paragraph. And you don't need any hashtags or anything like that for paragraphs. You can simply start writing anything and it will be considered as a paragraph. So the next step, yeah, yes. So the next thing is how can you add a line break? To add a line break in Markdown, it's very easy. You can just add a BR tag as well. You know, you can add a BR tag like this, and this is line 2. You can add a BR tag, or just simply hit enter twice, and it will be added to a new line. And the next thing is emphasis. Emphasis is also very easy. Uh, here, here you can see what is the syntax to add emphasis. To bold a text, you can add two asterisks. Okay, you can also add two underscores to bold the text, and to make to add this to add this italic style, you can add a single asterisk right here. I'll show you how to do that. I'll write that this is a bold text, and this is an italic text. To make this text bold, you can add two asterisks, like they have stated it right here. You can add two asterisks in the front and at the last of the text. You can add two asterisks here and two asterisks here. And you can see that the text is bold right now. Okay, and to make the text italic, you can see that the syntax is single asterisk. So you can add a single asterisk right here, and then a single asterisk right here. So you can see that this text is now an italic text. And here you can also make the text bold and italic at the same time. Okay, this is also easy. This is text which is bold and italic. So to make the text bold and italic, you can add three asterisks. So I'll just add three asterisks right here and three asterisks at the end. So now the text is bold as well as italic. That was it for emphasis, and now we can move to list. So list is very easy. You can simply add one and then a dot and then add the first item, two dot and the second item, three dot and the third item, fourth and the fourth item, and so on. So I'll show you this as well. It is also very easy. You can just add one dot and then add a space and write the first, two, then dot and a space, then write second. So you can see this is uh, this is this is an ordered list. Okay, you can see here it is one, which is first, two, and then second. You can also add unordered list in the similar manner. The syntax to add an unordered list is you can add a minus sign and then add first, then again a minus sign, and then second, minus sign, and then third, similarly. And you can also add unordered list using asterisk. You can add a asterisk first, asterisk second, and so on. Uh, you can also add unordered list using plus, asterisk, and minus as well. Okay. You can also add code. You can add sample code in your README, like yes, you must have seen right here. Sorry. Yep. You have seen this is a sample code. This is a block of code. This is a block of code. This is an inline code. You can add code as well. I'll show you how to do that. You can add this is an inline code. And the syntax to add an inline code is you can add a single backtick in the first and at the last uh, of the text that you want to add as a code. So you have to add a single backtick in the front and at the last. You can see this is an inline code. You can see that this style is different from the rest of the text because it's a code. And to add a block of code, it is also simple. You can add three asterisks and then it will be a block of code. So I'll just add three asterisks and write there. This is a block of code. And then at the end you also have to add three asterisks. So you can see this is a block of code. It has a gray background. Uh, this means that this is not a single inline text, but it is a block of code, which is different. And next we have links. Links and images are uh, links and images are very similar. To add links, you can just add here you can add the text in brackets and then the URL to the link in a parenthesis. So you can add like this. You can write there check out my GitHub profile, and the text that you want to add has to be in brackets and the URL has to be in a parenthesis. So you have to add this in brackets and the URL has to be in parenthesis. So I'll add the URL right here. You can see that this is now a link. If I click on this, it will redirect me to my GitHub profile. You can add any link here and any text right here. As I said, uh, yeah, as I said that adding links and images are pretty similar. You can check out you can check out how you can add an image to a repository. So the syntax to add an image is very similar to adding a link. You have to just add an exclamation mark at the beginning. So I will try to add this image. You can just copy the link to the image and then move on to VS Code. Uh, yeah. The syntax is to add an exclamation mark and then you can add an alt text here in parentheses in brackets. Sorry, you have to add exclamation mark first, and then the syntax has to be in brackets, and then the URL has to be in parentheses. So you can add an exclamation mark first. The you can add an alt text right here. This is an alt text, and then you can add the URL over here. So I'll just copy this URL and then paste it right here. Now you can see this image is embedded. This was just one line of code and you can add any size of an image very easily. You have to just add an exclamation mark and then the rest of the syntax is same as adding a link. And you can also add skipping characters. And a very important thing is that since HTML and Markdown are very similar, you can also write HTML code directly into Markdown. I'll show you how to do that. Like you write an HTML code like h1 and this is h1 heading, close it, h1. You can see this is exactly same. Uh, this is exactly the same format in which you write HTML, and the output is same as this one. The output is same as the typical Markdown format. So you can write HTML directly into a Markdown file, and it will render it uh, in the similar way. This website is very useful. You can see that we have an extended syntax section here. Okay, there are a lot of things. You don't need to know everything at once. Like there are tables are important. You can add tables like this and tables like these as well. You can strike through, you can add emojis, you can add task lists and all, but these are not necessary to get started. Just the basic syntax is enough and you can learn everything on the go. Okay, that was it from my side. If you have any more questions you can just drop it in the chat section, or yeah, you can drop it in the chat section or you can DM me personally and I'll try to answer them all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pranay. It was a great session. We have quite a few questions. Uh, we have question from Pratibha Gupta. She's asking that so basically README file is for the user who is going through my code. It's just an overview of my project, right?
Yes, yes, exactly, Pratibha. It is the overview of a project that you have pushed onto the GitHub, and you can see as I've shown you in that slide, what are the what is the significance of a README file. There were 3 to 4 important significances, and that's it. Next question.
Okay. We have next question that how do we make URL of image we have in our file?
You can use any free image hosting sites like IMGBP or Cloudinary. You can host your image right there and then copy the link and then use the link in your README or HTML code anywhere. Next question.
Okay, so next question we have from Karan Gurai. If you could please provide some effective tips that we can use in our README file.
Uh, there is nothing as such as a tip. You have to just follow the Markdown syntax, and that's it. Nothing as such as a tip. You can add images, and you can add good graphics as well, so that your README looks attractive. And you have to you have to follow proper it needs to have proper English grammar as well, so that it's understandable. The steps are understandable, and you just need to follow the Markdown syntax. Nothing else. Next
Okay.
question.
Um, Ali Bashar is asking for the site links. Okay, we'll
Yes,
share
sure,
that
sure.
site links in our community group. So, any more questions, guys?
So the I think we are done with our questions.
Yeah, we can end session. Thank you, Pranay.
Thank you to all our
Thank you so much.
wonderful speakers. It was a great and informative sessions. I hope all of our audience have taken a lot from this session. So thank you to all, and thank you to all our audience for being such an interactive and a fun audience to work with. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.